Welcome to episode 4 of the Peak Podcast. This is Scott Jarvie. We have Neil McSpadden here from the dungeon, dark dungeon with the kids drawing in the upper left corner.
Yep.
And today, on today's episode, we're going to be talking about Splinterlands, again, of course. And we're going to be talking about something new that just came out maybe a couple hours. And I guess this is probably where we go to share the screen and show a little bit of excitement here.
It's exciting.
All right. We've got, let's scroll up. Kickstarter. The Splinterlands UnTamed blockchain trading card game Kickstarter. This is the UnTamed edition, is being, I guess, officially announced, because it's been pretty unofficial. Well, it's been announced for a long time now, but this is like more official. Well, this is just Kickstarter. That's what it is.
I wonder what the stats are on how many Kickstarters actually, follow through on whatever it is they're doing.
Well, I did a Kickstarter years ago. Raised 70, and it was a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Kickstarter is a pain. I guess when you've got 4,000 interested people already, it's pretty easy, because the news here is that it has been funded. So The goal was 25,000. It has been 2 hours, and it's funded. And a lot of it is from, well, I mean, it's funded basically, and I asked this question to the developer, to Agrid, who you heard on the last episode. I asked this question if this was going to be kind of a marketing Kickstarter or just a Kickstarter primarily for the physical stuff. And it's more about the physical products.
Right.
So if you look through here, there's not necessarily any pictures of it, but there are videos floating around. I haven't actually watched this video. Have you?
No, I haven't.
Oh, me either. But somewhere in the video, I've seen him holding the book. So the main physical products that they're going to do, if you look at the last pledge, that basically shows you everything that was involved, right?
Right.
So if you look at that, then you get to see all the different things. So physical products, stickers, physical product, t-shirt, physical product, encyclopedia, and in-game achievement. So, but the encyclopedia is a book. It's a 200-page book. I'm not sure the size of that book, as someone that's published a few books, but 200 pages is pretty legit. It's like a coffee table length, but not necessarily a standard encyclopedia length, which is usually like 300, 400, or 500 pages. But I'm assuming they're not printing on really thin pages, so it is going to be a hefty book, from what I know. I'm not sure the actual size. But then you've got physical cards. And then you have foiled physical cards, and that was something interesting. Did you read the description about that?
I glanced at it. I didn't look at it in detail.
This may make you a little nauseous as I'm going through the Kickstarter. I'm getting used to it. But down here somewhere, it kind of goes through the different things.
There we go.
200-page book with 20 to 30 pages for each of the splinters, and some other stuff to kind of like tie in just the general history. It'll talk about each of the different cards, each of the different monsters and summoners, and includes a bunch of different stories that were submitted. And at the end, let's read what it says. So that's all of what we typically know. It says future books will include things like Player's Guide, Splinter Master's Guide, and Battle Master's Guide, along with potential for individual splinter books, comics, and works of fiction. So this is just kind of like telling you that this is a precursor to all those ideas.
Right.
Physical cards, they are committing to right off the bat 59 cards. They will be in the beta look, the beta style, but
Right.
it's going to be the 59 original cards. But from what I'm gathering, they're going to increase that based off of how well the Kickstarter does.
Yeah, they set up quests, as they called it, for each level of funding. So the first one was 25,000, which we reached in an hour or whatever it was, and that one, the reward for completing that quest was $100 of weekly tournament prizes.
Okay. All right. So let me just kind of go through this. What we're going to do is kind of tell some thoughts about the different rewards that you may be interested in, some of our thoughts about Untamed. But also, if you stick around for a little bit, we're going to go over what we always do. We're going to geek out about some information about the market, because, since the last podcast till now, surprise, beta cards have run out. That's
Yep.
the other big news.
Or have they?
Or have they? Okay. But let me walk you through the Kickstarter just so you have an idea of what's going on. Right here, you see what the goal is at, how many people have backed it. You have the campaign. So this is where Splinterlands has gone through and kind of like done the pitch for Splinterlands. So if you're
Right.
new, this is what you want to look through. If you're not necessarily new, this is going to be a lot of news that's older news. Like, what's going on. You're already interested in what's happening here. He's giving some stats about the market. He's giving
Mhm.
stats about the market cap and card economics and what cards do and how you can get other tokens like this dark energy crystals and how we do tournaments and this project roadmap is kind of where we're going. If you watch the last episode, that's like kind of like the hopeful roadmap, the long-term roadmap as well. And here he talks about, like, this is what you'd consider much more official than necessarily our last podcast, which was a lot of big ideas. But in here, they talk about boss fights and new tournament modes and guild battles, right?
Yep.
Let's see what else he says. In the midterm, we're building an expansion to the game so the players can buy land. Okay, so he is talking about some things he talked about in the last episode. So
Yep.
land, place mines, and manufacturing. Place mines and place manufacturings?
I think that's what that means. Yeah. So
And
probably
use,
like refinery and potion building stuff.
okay, so a building or a place or a mining location where you can cook up potions on the continual, maybe.
Yep. I think so.
So instead of having to go in all the time to make or to buy a potion, you can build something that will cook up potions for you a little bit more often,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe even be able to sell them. Okay, now I'm just riffing. This is not official, just random ideas here. In the longer term, we will build additional games using the same assets. Assets meaning cards, obviously cards and mines and land and stuff like that. But obviously the cards. But in other cases of the game, but in other classes of the games, like real-time strategies, RPGs, and more. We have set aggressive goalposts for new content and keep giving players a new way to play. I should be doing voiceover work. I haven't watched the video yet, but
Yeah.
at the core, we make sure our players are having fun. Fun, so much fun. Oh, what a day. All right, so then you've got that. They're going to keep on going through kind of how it works, tell you some of what the attacks are, just kind of telling you that they have a very thoroughly thought out game, and then they're getting to basically the packages from the first. Oh, that's the packages from the first Kickstarter. So they're telling you about how the Kickstarter campaign used to go. And
Right.
now the Untamed. So if you halfway through, it gets to the Untamed stuff. So walk us through, Neil, a little bit about this Untamed
Yeah.
and how it, because the Kickstarter deals with physical stuff and the Untamed.
Right. So, the different backing levels are, you get different amounts of merchandise and then corresponding different amounts of card packs. So it's saying here, Untamed will feature over 75 cards, final number to be determined by this Kickstarter campaign, which is an interesting detail. And
Yeah.
it's going to be five cards a pack, same as $2 per pack, and 1.5 million booster packs total. So it's going to be, 2/3 larger than the beta set. So that's a lot of
More
cards.
than 2/3 larger, but yes.
Is it?
Yes, there's an interesting concept in there, and this was something that was brought up either early this morning or the other day, is that's 1.5 million booster packs, but that does not mean 7.5 million cards.
Right. That's a good point. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and we'll get to that in just a second. So we're going to have over 75 cards. So if I open my spreadsheet, so beta currently consists, I guess, does now consist of, since beta is done. Beta consists of how many? Let's see.
Sorry for
Beta.
those watching. I just realized that it may be pretty hard to read that. Obviously,
Yep.
we'll add a link to the Kickstarter, but I just zoomed in so you could read what's going on there a little bit better.
Great. So beta has 79 cards. And so those are the core alpha cards, plus the neutrals that were added, plus the epic summoners, plus the legendary summoners.
Yes.
So all those added up to 79. So Untamed is going to be a similar-ish kind of size in terms of different varieties of cards. And
Bigger.
it'll end up being probably a little bit bigger.
It'll be about almost 90 when push comes to shove.
Potentially, yeah. And then, so it says here in the beta edition, we did one airdrop with the now famous legendary summoner. So for those who have not been following along, what happened was, I don't remember when, but beta came out and it had all the alpha cards, it had the neutrals, and it had the epic summoners. And then somewhere along the ways, they decided to airdrop the legendary summoners. So at that point, what happened was everybody who had bought packs up to that time received a probability of getting a sixth card in all of those packs. And because it was a legendary, it was a low probability. So so those just showed up in your account one day. And from then on, they were included in the beta packs as, just a normal card. And then you could buy them or sell them on the Peak Monsters market. So what they're saying now for the Untamed thing is that they are planning 14 airdrops of that kind. And it's not necessarily going to be legendary every time, but it's going to be, so every 100,000 packs that they sell, so 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, up to 1.4 million, they're going to airdrop an additional card to everybody who has bought packs at that point. And then there will not be a 15th one because that will just be selling out of the Untamed. Mm-hmm. So basically, because those airdrops happen on those 100,000 instances, if you buy in a pack and 200,000 have already been sold, you've missed those two airdrops previously. So then you'll be, any packs bought from there on will be eligible for, from 300,000 up through 1.4 million. So that's a little bit of incentive to buy, buy early, buy now, buy frequently.
Yeah, exactly. So when you're first buying the cards, a couple ways to think about this. When you're first getting the packs and opening them, you'll be pulling from over 75, from about 75 cards, let's say.
Yep.
But by the time we get to, when we're opening up packs that are in the 1.4 million, then you'll be opening a pack and it could be one of 90 cards almost.
Right. Yeah, because it'll be whatever the initial set is plus the 14 airdrops and whatever they do in the meantime.
And we don't know exactly how many are going to be in the airdrops, because that's an interesting thing. If you have 75, I can't even fathom how to do necessarily the math, but if you were to take the 7.5 million cards that we know could happen, and then determined by the rarities and all that stuff, it's going to be challenging. But there could end up being quite a few extra cards. If we look at, for example, let me show you what's going on here. If we look at common betas, we can look here on Peak Monsters that there was 114,000. Let's look here, 121,000 haunted spiders created. So somewhere around 120,000 of each common card. So there's going to be more possible max cards of these, is my guess. We also don't know how many will be needed to max out a card.
Right. They have not announced those statistics.
Yes. But, okay. So what else should we say about UnTamed, Neil?
Let's see. So, I mean, if you want to go over the packages and see what we have.
Okay. Let's do it. Okay, so $1 is kind of, from what I know, is just a donation, more or less.
Yeah, pretty much.
I guess. We haven't looked too much at the really low ones, right? I'm not sure what the $2 one is.
$2 is they're going to have
You
a
simply
toast.
want to see the game succeed. All right, cool.
They will toast your memory.
You get a starter pack. And what would you say about this? What should we say about the starter pack here, Neil? What do you know?
So basically, this is half price of the starter pack, normally $10. So with a starter pack, you get an account if you don't already have one, and then you get virtual cards. So under the beta system, the virtual cards were a smattering of the different Splinters level 1 cards. You could play with them, but they were not true assets in the sense that you could not sell them because they were virtual. So they were just there to help you get started, and you could play in the lowest leagues, like the novice and the bronze leagues, with just the starter pack just fine, and then you could get rewards from quests and season rewards and build up your account that way. So what this is having is a half price starter pack. Now at the moment, the UnTamed cards have not been released, and they're showing estimated delivery December 2019. Some of the other ones show January 2020. So it looks like we're going to have a release date of UnTamed in December to January of Christmas time, basically. So as my expectation is that the new starter accounts from the time UnTamed is released and forward will also have virtual cards, but they will be UnTamed rather than betas.
Yes, I've heard them answer in the affirmative that way. So yes.
Okay. Yeah. So Goblin Chef is half price starter pack.
Yeah, it's confusing that they use the names of some of these cards, like getting a Goblin Chef starter pack? No, you're getting something
because Goblin Chef is
it's a starter pack. That's all.
Yeah.
It may not. You probably is not going to have a Goblin Chef in it. Just saying.
Yeah, I agree. That's kind of a strange naming convention, but I guess they needed something.
Wait, haunted spider stickers? I'm like, I kind of want some other stickers. No, I'm pretty sure it's not necessarily just going to be haunted spider stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
So
their naming convention. Just ignore that.
so so here in the $10 level, we're starting to get into the merch. We've got
Hey, I have to say that I think that the $10 pledge is probably one of the best ones on this whole.
it. I would actually agree. So you get a starter pack. Normally priced $10. You get 4 booster packs, which is $8 of packs, and then
Yes.
you get stickers. And we don't know what size stickers or how many, but you're gonna
Yeah.
get some stickers. That'll be fun.
And if you're out of country, then and the shipping is expensive or whatever, unless they're handling shipping.
No,
Shipping
no,
was a big
it's
deal when I
shipping.
had in my book.
Yeah, so when you pledge, you put in what country you're in, and then it adds the shipping cost.
Yeah, you could probably not accept this stickers.
Maybe.
Maybe. We'll see.
All right, so then we go on to $35. What do we have there? Ah, the Friendly
This
Giant.
one is a great one. Let me talk about this an
Oh,
idea for this. Um, you could do this one, especially if you have other people in mind, because
hmm,
you're getting $8 worth of packs,
right.
and you're getting some stickers. So maybe in your mind you start thinking, oh, $2 Christmas presents, because
Hmm.
happening around, well, sadly in January is what they're saying, but maybe it could be because probably the stickers is probably what the holdup
Yeah,
is.
could be.
But maybe you could say, hey, I just want the other stuff. Can we ignore the stickers? Or
Yeah.
maybe they'll give you the other stuff. If the $5 one is happening in December, I think that the estimated delivery is basically the delivery for the physical products. So you
I
would
think
probably
so.
get the starter pack and the booster packs, at the same time as the people getting the
Yeah,
$5
and
pledge.
in the first Kickstarter, there was different delivery dates for different things.
Yeah,
So people got different portions of
yeah.
their pledges
So
at
there you
different
got a
times.
Christmas present, and then you also have things just like giving these packs or these starter packs to people to help get them interested in the game. This is probably why they're willing to do this for such a good deal, $18 to $20 worth of stuff for $10, because
Hmm.
it helps them by letting you promote. And one of the most interesting things about the starter packs, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the starter pack itself, I believe it may have the ability to have an affiliate to you.
I know they have been experimenting with that. I don't know if these will be of that type or not.
I think somewhere in this Kickstarter it said that.
Ah,
And I'm sure somewhere in the comments someone will mention this. um, Promo codes with affiliate links. Okay.
mhm.
The lifeblood of the game is new players. We want to turn out our player base into an army of recruiters. You'd up the demand and shrink the supply of cards as a whole by doing so. Here's the deal. We're making promo codes that are only available after the Kickstarter has closed. You'll purchase them as an add-on later?
Hmm.
Oh, each promo code you purchase will be tied to your account. If the new players sign up using a code you give them, then they'll be tied to your account. Every time they make a pack purchase, you'll get 5% on what they spend for life.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
that is not the starter pack then.
no, it doesn't look like it.
Okay. But that would have been a cool idea. Still good. But keep
Still a
an eye
good.
out for the promo code thing then, I guess, in the future after the Kickstarter.
Yep.
All right. Walk us through the 35.
All right, Friendly Giant Splinterlands T-shirt. So you get a Splinterlands T-shirt along with all of these packages are everything that was less plus new stuff. So this has the Goblin Chef starter pack. It has the Splinter stickers for the Haunted Spider. It has now the Friendly Giant T-shirt, and it now has 7 booster packs, which is retail price $14. So here we're seeing a shift from the $10 level where the you're paying essentially a premium for the merchandise, the stickers and the T-shirt.
Yes, so the 35 is basically going to help them cover the cost of the T-shirt, and because stickers are very easy to print out and easy to ship.
Yep.
T-shirts a bit bigger of a deal for shipping and work. Now, again, this isn't the Friendly Giant T-shirt. The T-shirt is blue with a Splinterlands logo on it.
Right.
That's what it is. There will be no giant.
It's got the big logo across the chest.
And I wonder, that comes to mind, is this right here? This is all new here? Splinterlands. These are all new characters, I would suppose. No, that's the water elemental. That's Zentar. These aren't new characters, huh?
Yeah, I think it's a gold dragon.
Stone
yeah, but that where the Splinterlands text is with that kind of wedge shape, that's the logo that's going to be on the T-shirt, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I was wondering. Some of them didn't look familiar because they're not exactly the same as the cards. So I was
it's stylized.
Mistaken. Okay, so that's the 35. So that's especially if you want a T-shirt, that's the one you go for. And so far, 3 people have wanted a T-shirt. So there you go. Now, if you want the book, then you get the $85 one.
Right.
If that's your interest, is the book, this is the one you get, the $85.
So, for me personally, I'm very interested in the book. There's going to be through the Kickstarter for the higher levels, there's going to be player additions to the book, but then there's also the lore, and I think there's going to be maps, and there's the overall history and all that kind of stuff. So that I'm looking forward to.
And just a little insight, because I've done several books that are in bookstores and stuff like that, Costco. A 200-page book, if it's coffee table size, kind of like 8 by 11. Let's see if I have one. I don't want to ruin the mic thing going on, but those can be sold for like $40 or so, especially that they're not going to have a huge print.
Did I lose you, Jarvie?
Yeah. That was interesting. Is
So,
it still recording? It's still recording.
Still recording on my end.
How about that?
Right.
Technical difficulties that I hope weren't too technically challenging.
Okay.
So anyways, you're talking about if you do a print run of like 2,000 books, which you're not going to do, that's a lot of books. I mean, that fills up basically a whole room of your house to do that many books.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Well, 200 pages is smaller. But they're like that book will cost them like at least $20 just to print and more. Because they're probably going to only do a few hundred of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it would probably retail for, because if it's a small print run like that, like $50 or something like that. So it makes sense. The 85 does make sense if you want, if I'm being their salesperson, The book is cool. I did pay attention to the Black Splinter, the Dark Eternals. Very cool story. I'm interested because I know that we handed it over to more professional type writers and stuff like that. So they had to make sure all the stories kind of meshed decently. And so I expect there will be changes to that. And they did mention I was watching a radio show that they were on, and they were saying, because this was something we brought up on a previous episode, right? It was our first episode. We were talking about this a little bit, but they were talking about, and they didn't know I was listening, and they're like, yes, like Jarvie's got the Black Splinter, which is this very intriguing storyline, and we tried our best to make sure that it kind of came through, that the interesting concept behind the Dark Eternals stuck with it. So yeah, that made me happy. Yeah. So that should make everyone happy to get the book.
There you go. Read Jarvie's inspirational lore.
And then we should have a podcast in the future when everyone gets their books
Oh yeah,
and,
definitely.
and do like philosophical podcasts, like talking about the not just like who they are, but like, like how this is all working. And I don't know, at least we'd have philosophical discussion about the Dark Eternals. That would be fun for me.
Well, we'll see what the other splitters look like.
Yeah.
Because it might just be you.
No, there's got to be. They've got some interesting ideas, I think, with some of them.
All right.
So, all right. So, and then 15 booster packs. So you've got the $40 worth of digital, and then you've got, like a $40 to $50 book, and a T-shirt.
And a T-shirt.
So it makes sense.
Yep.
And if you want a book, that's the one you go for.
Right. That's your minimum level, like I was saying, for the if you want to nerd out and do all the background lore and everything.
Yeah. I want to jump back for a second because people right now are like, well, I just want digital. Someone asked on the Agrid, one of the founders, said, hey, can I get multiple $10 pledges? What if I pick the $10 pledge? So you go in here and select this reward, and it's $10, but you send them 50.
Right.
And he said, yes. He said, yes, you can get multiple of the $10.
So here's the thing on that is that when you do that, you will get they'll just give you packs equivalent to $2 per pack. So every $10 they'll give you 5 packs, which is
4.
fine. Right.
Yeah.
So that's all good, but keep in mind if your goal is really just the packs, then they're going to have bulk deals like they have had with Alpha and Beta that'll be a slightly better price. Now, the downside there is that you might miss out on 1 or 2 of the airdrops, depending on how many packs sell through the Kickstarter.
I believe, don't hold me to it, that they will start the sales of packs very soon.
Could be.
Yes, it will be.
Do you have inside information that you're going to leak to the Splinterlands community?
We have a Peak Monsters site where you can buy packs, and I really appreciate that on one of their recent releases that they mentioned us and said that the airdrops count if you buy from Peak Monsters.
Right.
Specifically mentioned it in one of their posts, and I really appreciate it because I've had to tell people again and again that you are buying directly from Steam Monsters when you buy through Peak Monsters. Mm-hmm. Like the transaction is between you and Peak Monsters. It's not to us. It's directly with Steam Monsters. So they mentioned that, so that's great. But we've been asking because, what do we do with this page? Do we get rid of it? And obviously we haven't gotten rid of it because it wasn't worth us to get rid of, because the idea is that it's, UnTamed is coming soon. So let's just worry about it when that happens.
Okay.
No dates for me, because obviously I don't know the dates, but I know that the sense that I got was don't bother rebranding this page because it's happening sooner than you think.
Okay.
So that's the other thing. So yes, if all you want are packs, wait to just buy them from the site. And that is no knock on the Kickstarter. They understand that this is the case. They even want people to buy from the site. Kickstarter takes money from them. So why would they worry about that, right? They want you to buy from the site.
Yep.
If that's what you're doing. However, if you want packs and Splinterland starter packs, then that $10 pledge is good. So you could do choose the $10 pledge and put in $100, and then you'd end up with 40 booster packs and 10 starter pack tokens.
All right.
So some interesting insight there. We will go to the $200. Do you want to do this one again?
Sure.
Okay.
So Zintar Mortalis' card collection, which is one of the original Dark Eternal summoners.
Yes.
And so this is $200. You get the starter pack, you get the splinter stickers, you get the T-shirt, you get the book. And if you scroll down,
Yeah.
there we go. You get the in-game achievement for getting the encyclopedia, and you get a physical
What did
deck.
they mean by in-game achievement?
I don't actually know the specifics. I think it's just going to be like a title or a badge or something like that.
Okay.
But then you also get a physical deck of cards and 70 booster packs. So you're at 150 of card value between the starter pack and the booster packs. You get the stickers and the T-shirt and the book. But now we have physical deck of cards, and that I think is opening an interesting, I guess, an interesting chapter um, in the evolution here.
Hmm.
So, in the text of the Kickstarter, they talk a little bit about the, in the roadmap area, they talk about, miniatures and tabletop games and all that kind of stuff. And that I think is going to be where the physical, um, the physical decks come in, because yeah, I mean they're just cool to have. And then, but then what do you do with them? So that I believe is going to be uh, needed if you want to do like in-person gaming in the future.
Hmm. Where's your interest level on physical cards? Because I'm not a big physical card kind of guy.
I think it's neat. I will look forward to having them, but until there's I guess a sizable player base with physical cards, then it's kind of just a novelty.
Yeah. Very interesting. Okay. So that's what they've added. More cards and then that deck of physical cards. So let's go back. Sorry, I'm scrolling back and forth a little bit. So here we are at the 200.
Yep.
And then you've got $150 of digital, which is great, because we already discussed that, the physical stuff, the book, the T-shirt, and the cards. That's easily worth $50, probably
Yep.
more. So you're starting to get a little bit better return on investment,
Mm-hmm.
or return on purchase, I should say, because it doesn't have to be an investment. We're not investment advisors. All right, I'm going to go through the 500 real fast.
Right.
I look down. What I tend to look at, because I like the digital aspects, because coming from us, it's been around since alpha, like they've done us well. The values have gone up quite a bit. It's been great. So we've got 200 booster packs, all the same stuff, and then a physical foiled card set, which is, well, let's go down to the bottom. Woo, okay, it's a long Kickstarter. Okay, if you want to upgrade your cards to a shiny foil, you can. These cards literally shimmer, and they are a sight to behold, but they are more expensive to print, and thus the additional cost. Similar to the non-foil cards, we're offering to print 59 cards from the Alpha Edition with the beta skin. If the campaign goes well, we'll introduce more cards and offer a complete beta deck for players. If it goes really well, then we'll add the rewards card too, at no additional cost. So there you go.
I like your salesman tone there.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. You're getting a second deck, and you're getting $410 of digital asset or digital product,
Right.
So basically $410 digital product, and then $90 of this other stuff. I don't know how many people will be doing this one. They may stop at the 200 if they're interested in those cards. The point is that there's not going to be a ton of these physical cards. There's
Right.
not going to be a ton of these sets out there. Not like, obviously, the 7.5 million digital cards that are out there, right?
No, I don't think so. Digital cards are a lot easier to make.
Yes, the manufacturing process of digital cards are a little bit easier. But there won't be too many of them, so that may be of interest, that they could have some collection value if you're like a physical card collector, trader type person.
Hmm.
Okay, and then let's do the 1,000.
Right. So the 1,000 is an important threshold because you're getting 500 booster packs. Now that is basically an equivalent purchase. You're putting in 1,000 and you're getting 1,000 in cards. You're also getting all the other stuff. You're getting the starter pack, the stickers, the T-shirt, the encyclopedia.
You
You're
become a
getting
monster maverick.
become a Monster Maverick, yeah, if you're not already. Which is a Monster Maverick is the buying 500 packs or more, and you get into the cool kids room where you have chatting with the other Mavericks, but also you get it's not like officially priority support, but Aggroed and Yabba tend to be around more in the Mavericks channel.
Yeah.
Than in the general channel of Discord. So there is that. For some people don't think that's worth very much, but
Yeah.
some people do. You also get the UnTamed in-game transferable title. It's interesting.
So this is from what I understand, this is going to be like wherever your name is, it's going to say Jarvie the Untamed or Neil McSpadden the Untamed.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this is that the title is transferable, so you could sell that later on, maybe, if that's like that carries like a cachet with the Splinterlands player base. So that'll be interesting to see all those pop up.
It's a cute addition. It's fun.
Yeah.
It'll be nice. But the big thing that you mentioned is that this is for the big card buyers. This is where it starts to be really worth it.
Right.
So either you can buy from the site 500 booster packs and get 75 extra.
Right.
Or you can do this and get a book, 2 decks of cards, a T-shirt, a starter pack, and that title.
Right.
So you got to decide 75 packs or that list of things that I just came up with.
And to keep in mind, 75 packs is $150 worth of retail cost. So
yeah. So, and we talked about if you look at the previous one where it was $410 of stuff, $410 of digital, that means that if it's $500, that they were talking about $90 of physical. Okay. Right. So over here, you've got $1,010 of digital. So you're looking at the transferable title. What is that worth? Because you've got the same $90 of stuff, okay? So then you're thinking the transferable title, I guess, could be worth $60 to $70.
Maybe. I think it's one of those time will tell things, but I think it's a cool thing, and
there's only going to be some of these. This is where it starts getting limited, of course.
Right. That's
all these other ones are not limited. So there's only 10 of these, 6 of these, so that's 16, 5, so that's 21, and this last one, 22. Now they could add more of these. So that's not specifically, there's nothing that says that there's only going to be 22, but there's the possibility that there's only 22 of these transferable titles.
Right. So do you want to be the guy who has that title?
Yeah.
Is that worth it to you? And for some
otherwise,
people, the answer
you could
will be
do
yes.
the unlimited thing, the $500 unlimited, and just get 2 of them. Yeah, it's not as good, but because you're only getting 400 booster packs.
Right.
So you're looking at either buying a 500 pack deal straight from the website, or you liked this in-game transferable title.
Yep.
and you're interested in the fact that there may be somewhere between, and there could be less because not all these have to get sold either.
That's true.
So
You
it
know,
could be anywhere from 10 to 30 of these.
yeah, I tend to think with our player base that already exists, and the monetary motivations behind that those will probably sell out.
So I'm going to look real fast at these transferable titles. They are valuing it at $250 is what they say.
Okay, sure.
I feel some sarcasm in what you said there.
Well, I mean, that's just
We
pick a
know that
number.
they're valued, that someone should at least look at them at 60 to 70.
Yeah, yeah. But 250 is just, I don't know where they're coming up with that. That seems like just a number picked out of thin air, which is fine. But you got to do something. But
Okay.
you know, people do pay for status. That is definitely a thing. I mean, a large part of the economy is based on that. So
yeah.
I
don't know if maybe they make it better and say you get, if you have that title, you get it gets a 1% DEC boost per game you play.
Well, now you're talking.
Or 2. Why stop there? That would be pretty cool. Let's go to the next one. I want to describe this one because this is the one that I'm most likely to get.
Okay.
And because you start looking at this 1,350 booster packs, right? How much is that worth?
$2,700.
Now, what if you bought the packs? How much would it be cost to get it? Because
if you did it straight from the site,
500 would get you 1,150, right?
Right.
So then you get 200 more. So that's $2,400 roughly to get this amount.
Yeah.
So it's $2,400 roughly to get that buying straight from the website. They're charging $2,500. So you're saying that all that same stuff is worth $100.
Yep.
Where this one, you're saying, how much is 500 packs?
$1,000.
Well, less because you got the 75 extra, right?
Yeah, but you have to buy the 500 bonus to get that.
So what is it normally to get 500 packs? It's like $1.70 a piece?
I think it's like $1.73 or something like that.
So 500 times 1.73.
Yeah.
That's $865.
Yeah.
So and you're saying that $135 is what this is worth. Is what all this other stuff is worth. The title, the everything on that $1,000 package. Now over here, if you take that same 173, 1,350 times 1.73, because you're buying in bulk, that's $23.35. So it's $165.
Yep. Somewhere in there.
But okay, so it's $165, but there's one additional thing. You have an in-book canon character.
That's right. And this is where we were talking about earlier, where there will be player additions to the book.
Player additions to the book. You'll be written in as an official canon character in the encyclopedia. They are not saying that you're going to be a card.
No, they're not saying that.
They're not saying that you get to design a card.
Nope.
You're going to be in the book.
Yes. Probably as part of like the lore and, maybe, if we talk about the Peak Rider, let's say,
yes.
For those who don't know, the Peak Rider used to be a Dark Eternal, and he left the Dark Eternals and changed over to the Life Splinter. So, how did that conversion happen? Was there maybe a mysterious stranger who came to the Dark Eternals? Maybe you could be that mysterious stranger who convinced the Peak Rider to leave his Dark Eternal ways.
Yeah. Now, question is that's not going to be in this book? I'm
I believe it
assuming.
is. Yeah, I think they're holding the book until all those are done, and then they're shipping them. That's my
Then
understanding.
January 2020 is not going to happen, folks.
Maybe not for that.
Just saying, January 2020 will not happen. I know they have the best intentions, but you heard it here first, so have that as expectation. You will not get your book in January 2020. And no
I'm going to
book
be more
print.
optimistic. I'm going to say that there's only a few of these in-game, canon characters, so I think they'll make it work. So we shall see.
It's fine. I don't mind if I get the book in February.
Okay.
But books take a long time to print. And then they ship on the slowest 7-8 day, like it's 7-day cargo shipping,
Yeah.
They're not getting it overnight prime delivery of their books, and then they have to package them up, and then they have to put in the other things into there, and then they have to ship them. Well, luckily there's media mail is what they'd be
Right.
shipping.
Yep.
Media mail is a little bit quicker. It's not terribly expensive. Because usually a book is heavy and it would cost a lot, but the post office, at least the US, allows for media mail to be a little bit cheaper, which is nice. But it's slow. It's 5-6 day shipping,
Mm-hmm.
most cases, depending on how far away you are from where they are. You're not getting this book in January. That's fine though. Just so you know.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not a card, which is not as exciting, but you get the title, you get that stuff, and you're getting roughly, $2,300 worth of $2,350 worth of cards. So
Alrighty.
it's not necessarily like amazing for cards, but if you want to be the character, if you want to have that character and you want extra cards more than just the 500 pack here, it's great.
Sounds good.
So you should probably talk about the 5,000 pack.
I should talk about the 5,000 pack because this is what I
5,000
pledged.
pledge.
5,000 pledge. This is what I pledged just before we started the podcast here. Mainly because the $10,000 was taken, and I was upset about that. So there's only
Gotta open up another one, something like that. If your second backer takes your highest pledge, it means that you did not have one high enough. In sales, they always say, have one product that is seemingly unattainable, and if someone ever buys it, make something even more unattainable.
That's right. You have the $100,000 pledge where you fly out and we hang out with the team and do whatever. So
yeah, you have something that is totally seemingly unattainable, and you're okay with it not being bought, but you're okay with it being bought. It's just the way.
Like I could actually imagine some of the Korean players doing that because they have put a lot of a lot of resources into the game. But anyway, so the $5,000 pledge, you get all the previous stuff. You get the starter pack with the stickers, T-shirt, encyclopedia, physical cards. You get the title, the UnTamed.
All the same stuff. Yeah.
All the same stuff.
Except for you don't get the in-book character. Yeah.
Right. So then you get 2,700 booster packs, which if we're doing the $1.73,
I'll figure it out for you.
Okay.
46.71.
Okay, so you're close on the value there. You get a max level standard foil summoner. It doesn't say which one, and that ties into design a legendary summoner for one of the 5 splinters. So this is similar to what they did on the last Kickstarter.
Almost all summoners, almost all legendary summoners are max level. Are trading for you could purchase right now for roughly $200, $150 to $200. So
yeah. So the backers at this level, they get to design, from Jarvis' experience that he's talked about previously on the podcast, you get to have input into the design. It's not quite as as in control as it might appear. But you get to have input into the design of one of the
design
one of
aspect
the
is
splinters.
great. Like they have great creators of cards, like the physical attributes.
Hmm.
Um, the rule sets, you have to keep in mind that Matt has to be able to actually do your rule set, have the
Right.
time to do your rule sets, have the the ability to do it, in the
Yeah.
programming if you want some different rule set.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get anything too out of the box here, like turn your weakest opponent card into a turkey or something like that,
Into a chicken,
into a chicken.
a furious chicken.
Now that the furious chicken is a thing, that might be doable, but we'll see. So this is what I pledged. There's 5 splinters, so there's only 5 of these available, and now there are only 2 left, and it's been a couple hours. So
So you're
those are going
saying
quickly.
we're saying, okay, so digital assets, it's at least 46.71 on the booster packs. Then
Right.
you add $10 for the starter pack,
Sure.
and then you add in, let's say that those legendaries are $12 a piece.
To start out with, yeah.
So
Okay.
maybe we'll say $125.
Okay.
75. Okay, so you're looking at $4,800 of digital assets, and then you get both decks of cards. The other stuff that we've already kind of discussed is worth at least $90 or more.
Yep.
And then you get the ability to design a card.
Yeah, and the other thing to keep in mind is that at this point with the 2,700 packs, based on what we've seen with beta, that is, you're going to be in the neighborhood of being able to have a max level deck of UnTamed.
Yeah.
The exact figures will depend on your luck as well as how many
Yeah.
cards they end up actually being. But you're going to be close at least.
It depends on how many common cards there's going to end up being.
Right, and then what the combine rates are, which we also don't know.
Yeah. So there you go. So this, if you compare it to the last Kickstarter, the cost of doing the Legendary Summoner pack thing was much lower.
Yes.
But we certainly did not get $4,800 of digital assets.
Right.
I feel like I spent over $1,000 just for the right to design the card. And here you are spending maybe $100 for the right to design the card.
Yep. I think I got a better deal.
Yeah. But you're spending twice as much as I spent.
Okay.
In general.
True.
But
I've
return.
Yeah, but I've spent too much money anyway, so it's all right.
Yeah.
After a while, it's just whatever.
And the 10,000 is all gone, so
Yeah. So
what's the point?
the 10,000, you get a one of a kind in-game title, you get a maxable gold foil dragon summoner, you get to design a legendary dragon summoner, you get 6,000 packs, you get a Kennen character. This was a killer deal, and I was very upset when I loaded up the page and it was gone. So.
Okay, but look, you get $10,000 in packs, 10,380 if we're using the same math.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting plus that $125. Well, I mean, it's going to be a legendary dragon summoner, so it's probably worth a little bit. Let's say 150.
Right, but you get a gold max level as well.
Yes, which, if we assume the same as beta, then that's like at least a $500 card.
Right.
Maybe a lot more, but if we at least 500. So you've got 11,000 in digital assets. I mean, we're not even counting the title, which is also a digital asset.
Mm-hmm.
And you get the campaign character, in the book. So it's good. It's definitely better than the other ones, for sure. For sure better.
For sure better.
It's too bad it's taken, but there's several of us that maybe have expressed interest, so maybe Maybe something will pop up.
Maybe.
Okay. What else do you like to say about the Kickstarter? We've gone through all the pledges and kind of given some insight to people that are looking at doing the pledges.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I don't think it's going to be any surprise to anybody that the vast majority of backers here are going to be already existing players.
Yes.
So I don't think I don't think it's going to be a tremendous influx of players based on the Kickstarter.
No.
It's just, players who want the new cards and all the swag, all the books and the T-shirts
Yeah.
and the physical cards.
And we
So
discussed that the airdrops make this good. So
right,
even when the booster packs start being sold, and that will happen before the end of the Kickstarter, and let's say they start getting sold quite quickly, and there's a lot of you that may just say, no, I just want the packs. That's where you'll go, and you'll be happy about that. You don't necessarily want the book. This Kickstarter is a lot about the physical products. You go in there and they could sell 100,000 of those packs before the Kickstarter even ends. Here's the
possibly.
thing. Everyone involved on the Kickstarter will be counted as airdrop 1.
Yes.
That was also promised by, I think, Matt even. So
Yep. Yep. And then, so here they're just showing some of the stretch goals where at these levels, the different cards get added to the physical decks,
Yeah.
which is nice, and I think that'll be fun. I think for sure we're going to hit at least 45. I actually think we'll hit all of these. I think we'll hit 75 and get everything.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay, well, let's look at if all of the limited gets taken care of, that's 10,000, and this is another 25, so that's 35,000, and this is 6 times, that's
12.5.
15,000, so that's 50,000, and this is 10 times, so that's 60,000 in limited.
Mm-hmm.
So there would have to be 15,000 of those other small ones. I guess the $500 ones,
Mm-hmm.
but that's a lot of these other ones.
Yeah.
So I think it's still going to be hard.
Okay.
I think unless they bring out some other interesting options.
Yeah. So in the Kickstarter from last year, what ended up happening was like 2 of the middle high-ish levels ended up selling out, and
Uh-huh.
they added similar packages
Yeah.
at those levels. So I think there was like a $600 and
Yeah.
and maybe an $800 or $1,000,
Yeah.
something like that. They rolled out additional packages when they
I think
sold out.
that 5,000, it's close to being done. I may run in and grab it, and then there'll be one left, and then maybe they'll come up with something else. I'd like to just share a Kickstarter insight. This Kickstarter is how many days? It's 30 days. Is that correct?
I'm not sure.
27 days.
27 days. Let's hit a refresh on that amount pledged.
I think
and
it
see where we are.
automatically refreshes, to be honest.
Oh,
Kickstarter
does it?
does. Yeah.
I've never used Kickstarter except for Splinterlands.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I just refreshed. It's the same. The thing about Kickstarter is they will charge you at the end of 27 days. It is funded, so it's definitely going to happen. So at the end of 27 days, that's when they charge you. You don't have $5,000 right now? That's fine. You don't have to pay that until the end of 27 days, or the $500 or the $10 or whatever. So you go in there, claim something. You can also change your pledge. That may cause inconveniences. Oh, there's only one left here. I need to get off the phone call and probably grab it. So, or open up another screen so you can't see all my data,
See all.
my credit card info, and
Yeah. I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
what's the worst that can happen? They're not even going to put a block on your card for that amount, just so you know. So you have 27 days. Okay. while I'm doing a little bit of that, you wanna you wanna tell people what's up?
Okay, so what is up? Well, I mean, the biggest news is that the beta's sold out.
Shipping is
So,
$40, just so you know,
oh yes,
in
on the
US.
5,000, which includes the two physical decks and the encyclopedia and all that is $40 for the US.
Mhm.
So to give people an idea, depending on which level they're interested in. So beta sold out. But what does that actually mean? So if you go over to, well, Jerv, you can stop sharing your screen and I'll start sharing mine. Let's load up some Steam Engine here.
Yay! Okay, they're all gone now.
All
It's
right.
so fast to do, really, and it's just your card will be charged November 7th.
November 7th. That's a good date to keep in mind.
Put that in
All
your
right.
calendar.
Okay, so if I share, and let's see. Okay, so here we're looking at Steam Engine, which is the token trading platform, also run by Agrid, and I believe the app is involved as well, for smart contracts on Steam blockchain. So beta is a representation of a beta pack. So you could trade these tokens on the market, and then if you want to open them, then you send them to Steam Monsters, and it shows up in your account when you log in to play, and then you can open them just like normal. So there are still 102,378 beta packs out there that are doing something. So that's another 510,000 cards out there to be opened at some future date. So I was talking with Marky on his show last night, and it's there's a lot of people out there that are going to be holding these for speculation purposes. So right now they're trading at 250. So packs purchased on the website were $2. In bulk, you get them at $1.73. If you played some affiliate games, you get down to like $1.68 or 69, something like that. So already the prices are higher. And if you watched my video earlier that I posted earlier on the flippening status, basically the expected value of the cards in the current market against the $2.50 pack is virtually even if you open them with potions. So it's kind of amazing that the market has reached such an equivalence so quickly, because if you've been following the posts from Peak Monsters, costs to max of a lot of cards are just going through the roof, and overall we've seen about a 20% rise in prices, market prices, over the last 2-3 days, which is amazing. So when I track my own stats, I look at Peak Monsters and I look at the market value. So we go over there.
Yeah, show them that.
Peak Monsters. Go to my collection. Mine takes a while to load because it's a bunch of cards. So this number right here, using market prices, that's the one I pay attention to, because I don't care what people are listing as. I mean, you can ask whatever you want, especially on the high dollar cards that don't trade very much. Numbers there are crazy. Bid prices, I mean, that's, if you want to hit the bid, then that's great. But if you want to look at a decent trade, market price is what you want to pay attention to. So before beta sold out, this number for the same collection was, bumping around 68,000, 70,000, 65,000. And over the last 2 days, it's gone from that level up to 82, which is kind of amazing. So let's think 82 divided by, I think before, was 68. So yeah, 20.5% increase. So the I don't know if you want to call it FOMO or what, but people have been hitting. So the thing about the $2 packs is that set a supply that was always available. So that put a cap on the total price of any, of the average value, because if the cards got too expensive, you could always just buy a bunch of packs. And we saw that with cards like the Elven Cutthroat. They just got crazy, where it ended up being cheaper just to buy a bunch of packs, sell everything else, and keep the Elven Cutthroats, if that's what you needed.
Yeah.
But now that supply is cut off. So now it's either buy on the market at 250 or buy individual cards.
Go back to the market and show people how many are available at that price.
Okay, well, let's see. So here we've got, you can see the mountain chart. So at the 250 range, we've got 6, 26, 21, 10, 10, 1, 5.
Okay, not bad. And not for that much more. There's another 100. There's
right,
200 more. So
yep.
in that ballpark, there's like over 300 cards, almost 400.
Yep. But then it starts going up. So you got some at 18, and this is priced in Steam, so you got to do the conversion of whatever it's Steam is trading at. And then it gets up to 20, and then 25, and then 150. So
when packs that night were about to run out, this was last week.
Mm-hmm. I
was like, all right, well, because if you buy 500, they're going to cost $1.70, around that. Like we've been using the number $1.73, and I was like, well, it's almost a sure thing, in investment and like this was about as sure as it got. You just don't have as much unlimited sources of money, right? Like you knew it was going to go up to at least $2, from $1.73 to $2, and it did, and it went way above that. I wouldn't have thought 250.
Yeah, and then you have to keep in mind how many are actually being traded right now. So these are all from today.
Pretty decent.
Yeah, it's maybe
60, 70 packs.
Yeah, something
today.
like that. So yeah, if you bought 5,000 packs, you're not going to be able to sell them immediately, but just slowly over time. I think that's going to be a solid speculation.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm all about the cards and opening them and renting them out.
Opening and renting them out, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. So let me share screen, and I'll show what I've been doing. Oh, you're doing this. Okay, show that. Okay, I got it. I'll jump in there real fast.
My finger's already on the button.
Let's open up. Let's not open up that one. Let's open up this screen. Peak Monsters. And where is this dang thing? Okay. Boom. Sharing. Okay, you got it now?
I got it.
So what I did, and I posted on the Peak Monsters blog, I did quite a few, so there's like 4 posts in the last couple of days. This was the one that got maybe the most attention. What I did was I calculated how much it would cost. You own no cards right now, how much it would cost to max out these cards. Everything from $7.46 to max out a Skeleton Warrior, all the way to, at that point, a Magi Sphinx would cost $505.
Yeah, that's really surprising to me, by the way.
I did a revaluation of those because I try to implore people to list cards. And Peak Monsters, this is the new update, just increased the transaction limits on some of these stuff. So now you can, instead of listing 25 cards at a time, you can list 100 cards at a time. So that's a lot more. So, and then just mentioning that there was 18 cards. So previously I had a list of 18, well, it says 17, but there was actually 18. 18 cards that you couldn't even max. There weren't even that many cards on the market. That means liquidity is way down. And now, as of today, there's only 7 cards that are missing that you can't max out. Now, this was this morning, 7 hours ago. So maybe by this time, there's, it's changed one way or the other. Things happen quickly. But this was the deal here on this previous one. I want to show this. I had this price difference sort of thing, and this number was really good at actually telling you the liquidity on the market. Like, so yes, there's enough to max out a shaman, you know, but at 183% based off, because at its list price of 0.088, it should cost $44. But if you're using the bulk calculator to find out how much it would actually cost you, it was costing 126, and that's an increase of 183%.
Right.
And that kind of gave you an idea of the liquidity in the market really quickly.
Yep.
Obviously, Magi Sphinx, you weren't expecting the Fire Demon to cost $214. So 330%. Now, when I did this, 2 days later, or less than 2 days later, we go down here, and now the Fire Demon is somewhere in this list.
At the bottom there.
It's at the very, so it's now $50 to max it, and the percentage is 0 because someone listed a max Fire Demon for $50. So there you go.
Yep.
And so these numbers, this percentage number here in this column, is pretty interesting. It means that, yes, you could buy a Silver Shield Knight, but this number is so high that you probably don't want to max it out with how many are there in the market. So I could show you. We go to, we're going to just click on beta only, and then just do Knights. And there's the cards, okay? But we're not in the market, so sorry. Okay, so now we go to Knights. And when you go to buy, there's this bulk calculator. So then you say, well, you need 505 of them to max it out. And you look here, okay, 505 are available. And it's now $63. So what did it say earlier today? 76. So it's already gone down. Based on its price at 7.2 cents per card, it really should cost, in a perfect world, $44.
Right.
So it's getting a little bit down, and that's obviously because today, since I posted this 7 hours ago, there's been more liquidity added to the market.
Right.
In this post, I have added what it would cost to get your card to diamond, to gold, or to silver, just as interesting side notes to those things.
So the interesting thing I noticed on this post is that in the beta 1 diamond column, you put commons at level 9 instead of level 10. And that's understandable in the sense that, the jump from level 9 to level 10 is 200 cards.
Yeah. So I am stating what I think a decent diamond level is,
And you could definitely get to diamond with level 9 commons.
But you get to there with gold level deck. You could get to Diamond League, but this is a very solid diamond. What do you think? What do you think?
No, I do. I agree. I just thought it was funny that little discrepancy, because if you want to compete in champion, you're probably going to need the level 10s.
No, I have a deck where I'm up in the top 100, and I don't play that often, and most of my gold stuff is level 9.
Really?
Yeah, level 8, some of them.
Maybe you're just a better player than I am.
And yeah, so you get top 100 with this easily. So I don't think I'm a better player. I do have level 8. I would say I do have level 8 summoners. I do have top level summoners.
Okay.
I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, I mean, having the summoner to maximize whatever league you're in is an important piece.
Maybe it should have been
maybe
it should have been 8, 7, 5, 4. Anyways, I've given you what that is. So the silver is the best bet one, right?
Oh yeah.
This is a pretty typical 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yeah. So if you go to the top there with the Prince Renan, so that's why I don't have legendary summoners in my silver decks.
Yeah,
Because
$105 in a silver deck is crazy because a silver deck should cost $200 to begin with.
right, total.
Yeah, total. So most silver decks don't have many legendaries in it at all.
No. No. And I get players complaining to me, constantly, let's say, can you add this card? Can you add that card? It's like, well, I could, but it's not worth it for me. So
Yeah. Because Selenia is 38, the Hydra is 38, it's a lot.
yeah.
So that's the interesting thing. Obviously, you can go into Peak Monsters and kind of get an idea for how much it would cost to max up. You can have it add cards to your cart, but 45 at a time, because that transaction limit wasn't raised by Steam blockchain and stuff. So it's still 45 cards. So, but that bulk thing is really good for people, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the most useful feature that you guys added. When I'm putting together decks and things, I use that constantly.
So what do you think about this, Neil? We'll just between you and me here.
You and me and our thousands of fans.
Yeah, our thousands of fans. What I really want the bulk calculator to do is when you open it up, it to list underneath here every level and auto calculate it for you.
Like if you want a level 6 of something, it'll have that.
So when you
level
open
7
up an epic something, the fire demon, it's going to look at how much it would cost to do 46, 23, 11, 6, and 3. And it will just show it automatically down below.
And then you click it and it adds it to cart?
Sure. Why not?
Sure. Why not? I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
I want
because
that.
I spent forever having to go in here. 46. Okay, it's $50. 23. This is going to be funny to you. Well, no, it's not too bad. Okay, I thought it was going to be more than $50 to do 23, but it's 37, and then 11, and I did this for every card. 6. I did that for every one of them. And it'd just be so fun if it was just down there. It's just a matter of doing quick calculations on our end.
Yeah.
And then people maybe not even have to put it in there, or they're like, well, I only need 5. So it's a little bit different, but they can.
Yeah, you've got some odd lot thing going on.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fantastic.
Obviously, you're going to say, yeah, of course, add another feature in there, but.
I also want, especially for the commons, I want, multi-step transactions. So instead of adding 505 commons and then trying to do 45 at a time, and then trying to remember how many 45s did I get, so how many more do I need? That whole thing. I just want to do it once, and if it takes 10 transactions, then great, do 10 transactions.
So basically, that's a matter of making a queue in your cart, and it's here's your first transaction, and then down below it's and you have 6 more pending after you purchase this one.
That would work. That would be a good, medium step.
Now the question is Asgarth going to listen to an hour of this conversation that we've already done? I'll say, Asgarth, skip to this. And that's a pretty good solution, I think. It just kind of adds them all, but then you purchase one at a time. You purchase the 45 at a time.
And that seems like a doable solution.
And I think that's doable for him. I know that everyone's like, why can't it just be magic, Right. Well, we have to think in terms of what the blockchain can allow and what is not going to take our programmer too much time, because there's other things also that they're supposed to be doing,
Yeah.
So I think that is a good one. I like that. And thanks for helping think through that.
Yeah, we're making magic happen here.
One of my thoughts, though, was when we look at the purchases, and we go to admin here. Probably shouldn't do this. There we go. Well, I guess you can see all the people buying, but we're not seeing a ton of 45s and then other 45s. We got Crystal Human buying, I guess that's around 120. So I guess that's needed. A lot of bid market stuff. So this person did 60, basically. Well, and this other 16, so 70. Okay, maybe it's more useful than I thought.
Yeah. Well, we're getting a whole new set of cards coming out, in December, looks like. So that's going to be
50,
ramping
60.
back up.
And then they're buying 50, 60. So it's definitely over the 45. I mean, I guess I've never seen anyone that's like, I'm going to buy 400 commons right now.
I've done it many times.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, I don't buy every day, but when I do.
When you do, you're a
I
rock
do.
star. Okay. So then you went through and figured out, let's go to Neil. Oh, there you go. You went and figured out the
67.
flippening status. It's a video.
Yes.
So explain, I guess, the end, because we've talked about how you do the calculations. You're going to want to rewatch probably episode 1, how you do this. Kind of just give them a quick update, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, the quick update is that so now that beta is sold out, it's no longer comparing to buying packs on the website. It's now compared to buying tokens on the market.
On Steam Engine. Yeah.
On Steam Engine, yeah. So if I can find my spreadsheet, or the right tab in my spreadsheet. Okay, so as of this morning anyway, basically if you bought one token of beta packs and opened them, the expected value was $2.90, if you use potions.
If you use potions, and you're seeing that it's around 250, so it's still
it's 250 plus 43 cents of potions. So
so it's like barely just breaking even.
It's break even, exactly. So I thought that was super interesting in that. So if you're into economics and things, there's this efficient markets hypothesis where amongst other things, information percolates throughout the users, and people will arbitrage profits away as quickly as possible. And the fact that it happened in a day or a day and a half is amazing to me, because this is a very fragmented market, and we've got 130 something cards. You've got all the different levels, and then you have those expected value calculations only work over large numbers, because you buy one pack, maybe you pull a gold foil legendary. You buy another pack, you got 4 commons and a rare. So those averages only work out in the long run. But the long run has been optimized so that buying a token at this point in time is equivalent to opening the cards.
Yeah,
which is kind of amazing.
Opening the cards and getting the value to match that. Your market value kind of or list value is about the same.
Right. Now, doing orbs and rewards cards is still profitable if you're interested in those. When you're
doing flippening status, are you taking the market value or are you taking the list?
Market value.
Whoa, that's even better.
I know,
because that's lower than the list.
Yes, it is. So it's a more conservative case.
Yeah. So I've tended to do it judging off of the list sometimes. Because the list represents what it would cost you to buy them.
Yes.
Right here, right now, instead of waiting for someone to fulfill your bid, perhaps.
Right.
Or something to that effect. Or for them to temporarily go down and you be able to jump in and grab it. So.
Yep. But dark energy crystals, the market has been interesting. So we've had a little bump in the price of Steam the last couple of days. Went from a 12 or 13 handle to a 15 handle. So, price.
And it's down to 14.1 right now.
Oh, okay. So it came back a little bit, which is to the surprise of no one. But So even though everything on Steam Engine trades against Steam, Dark Energy crystals have been fairly steady in U.S. dollar value. So right now they're at 96 cents per thousand,
Yeah.
and they bump around, and they
It went
get
over $1 per thousand for a
yeah.
moment.
Yeah, it was. I think I saw 11 at one point. But yeah, it bounces between like 80 and 110, somewhere in there. Um, so we've seen the Steam price adjust, but the dollar value has been
Yeah.
pretty constant, which always makes me happy because Dark Age Crystals is a large part of my Steam income now.
And we will be on Peak Monsters implementing the ability to buy packs with Dark Energy crystals
Oh,
when that comes out is the big hope there. So
that'll be great because I'm going to need some packs.
yeah, more than the 3,000 that you're getting.
Well, yeah, that's only one deck.
Oh,
So I'm going to need my beta herons, and I have alpha herons, beta herons, and I'm going to need untamed herons. So
are you planning on adding them to the decks you have, or splitting them up and having a whole other decks? I mean,
my plan at this moment is to have separated decks, unless there's some crazy utility card like a Lord Arianthus, um,
or chicken.
or chicken. Yeah, so all my decks are eventually getting gold chickens.
And you know what? Since last time we chatted, those are all new, right? The chicken in
Yeah.
them. So that's
Were they
something
were
we
they
can
released
chat
when we
about.
talked last?
We were
I'm not
talked about them generally, but they hadn't been officially released.
okay. So
So
yeah.
what are your thoughts on the 4? You got the
So,
chicken, which is just like, get one of them. That's all you really need. It's just one chicken. You don't have to max it out or anything. Just get one
yeah,
chicken.
yeah. I mean, it's a free shield basically,
Yeah, it's a
and
free one-shot shield, and if you're putting in a white or whatever, something that adds shields to it, it's a 2-shot shield.
yeah. And if you do the gold, you get the Dark Energy Crystal bonus, which is what I'm doing.
That's why
So
they cost $25 a piece.
right, so that's a little high, but you only need one. So
Yeah, I haven't gotten it yet though. How is it?
yeah. It's. I mean,
How'd
they're
you
pretty
get it?
great.
Did you
Well,
buy it?
I pre-ordered from TC Polymath
Oh,
because in the Heron system he gets just loads of rewards cards, so he was pre-selling them, and I felt like I might have been overpaying because his pricing was like 125% or 130% of the Dark Energy Crystal price.
no.
Yeah,
You got an amazing deal.
apparently I did. So I ordered 22 of them.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm
So
glad you got that. That's pretty awesome.
yeah, I mean he's still fulfilling. He hasn't received them all yet. So I think I'm up to
Wow.
8.
Did you order 22 regulars or 22 golds?
22 golds.
Oh my heavens. It's going to take him
Yeah,
forever to fulfill.
yeah. Well, I'm up to 8 in a few
That's
a week. So
impressive. That shows you how many he gets.
yeah, I mean it's a rare, so it's not it's a in terms
Yeah.
of golds, it's fairly the drops are fairly often. Um, so so yeah, turns out I got a killer deal there. And but yeah, the other ones, the Naga Windmaster, the Beetle Queen, and the what's the death one?
Spectre.
Spectre, yes, Fallen
So
Spectre.
let's talk about the Fallen Spectre. It would have been such a better card if it had no magic attack.
Why do you say that?
Because then you
Oh,
don't
because of
have
Reflect.
the magic reflect, and it just kills the card. And it's so fast. It's a 6 speed, so it attacks like first thing, and then it
Hmm.
never benefits your deck ever.
Hmm.
So if it had maybe one ranged, that would have been awesome. Or 0 magic, it would have been a good card.
Hmm.
But it
That's
actually
interesting.
is detrimental for it to have 1 magic.
Hmm. I hadn't thought about it that way. But
So
but even so, you can see that the prices. I mean, people are valuing it because in rewards legendaries on the low end you have the Sacred Unicorn, and on the high end you have Lord Arianthus.
it may, and I hate to see it this way, it may end up being like these two.
Hmm.
I think it may go down to that price. It's just going to stay there because people want it. I mean, I bought them. I bought 5 of them to get headwinds. Um, for the, 4 something a piece. Just because I didn't, it was going to take forever to get them. So I grabbed them. And yeah. The other one that I think is intriguing, the Beetle Queen. Everyone was excited about the tank healer.
Oh yeah. Adding a tank healer to fire is a big win.
So you need 21 of them to get the tank heal.
Right. And at max level it also has the Inspire, which is, on fire is fantastic.
This is something that I think Matt is going to be doing. I think you should expect to see this a lot in the UnTamed and in future cards. Something awesome at the max level. That wasn't the case for most of the beta and alpha cards.
Yeah, a lot of times
few cards that had something awesome at the max level.
Yeah, a lot of the betas, on level, like 1 or 2 steps below max, you would get the last ability, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But
there was a few in beta that had like 1 extra magic attack at the max level, and you're like, I have to get that. That's like the Pixie.
Yeah.
It's like the, I don't know, some of those magic dragons,
Mm-hmm.
They had something awesome at the very end.
Yeah, so you get the plus 1 melee attack, and you get the tank heal. So you throw that on like a Cerebus, which already has heal and retaliate, and you get the plus 1 on either if you're using Play-Doh or Malric, and then you throw in a Pixie there or something. You can really stack on melee attacks with fire using.
Well, how about doing that same thing with the exploding dwarf? You've got a 6 attack, and then you put the Malric, you put it in a team with Malric.
Yeah.
And then you put a Beetle Queen in there.
Yep.
And then you put the Enchanted Pixie in there.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
So it's a 9 attack.
That's a 9 attack.
With piercing.
With piercing. Yeah. So, but...
Yeah. Now, the thing about the dwarf is that it's usually only 1 shot because, thorns or something.
Go in here and try to get 115 of them. There's only 82 BCX available.
Yeah. Well, it's new, so...
It's new. It's hard to get. I have not come across playing this with Inspire. So tank heal is not too hard to get to.
Mm-hmm.
And at least, when you're also up at 3. So even if it's magic attack, it should last a little bit,
Yeah.
Because you got 2 being reflected, so it won't immediately die.
Yeah, so on a reflect, it'll get 1 damage.
Oh, it'll get 1 damage. Okay.
Because it's
reduced. You've got a couple of rounds even here, but then you come up here and you've got like 3 rounds at least. So
yep. It's a great card.
It's a great card, specially maxed.
Yep.
So and that's the thing, like that's great maxed. The Spectre is a little bit better maxed. The Naga Windmaster, they put poison at the end, and poison is amazing to have.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think you're going to expect this. If we're talking a lot about UnTamed tonight, I think you're going to expect having something awesome when you max cards in UnTamed.
I think you were right. I hadn't even thought about that, but I think that's... especially on the commons, because, at least in betas, the gap is so large between level 9 and level 10.
Yeah. It was always the case in legendaries. You always got something awesome at max because there's only 4 levels.
Right. But I think if we see that in commons, so I've been talking about commons for a year and a half at this point, just trying to get through to people that there aren't enough to go around. Now that we're going to have 1.5 million packs in UnTamed, depending on player base growth.
Yeah, the player base better grow.
it better grow. But even so, it takes so many. And if there's now, rather than getting +1 health or +1 attack or whatever, now if there's an ability that you're getting at those higher levels,
that's more maxed out cards, and it's going to get harder.
Exactly. It's going to be a lot more. And I think that the prices of the commons, they're going to be limited by that $2 supply. But I think we're going to see fewer things like the Rexy and the animated corpse that are, going for 2 cents or 3
And
cents.
and if we're dividing 7.5 million cards by like 89 cards, that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, let's just I'm just
That's
gonna
I
do the
mean
math right
that's a
here.
lot more divided than what Beta had. Beta was whatever 4.5 million cards divided um by 70 something cards is what you said.
74, I think it was.
So don't expect a crazy amount more of max cards ability. They could lower the amount of that it takes to level them up, to be honest. But they
Maybe.
may just stick at the 505 commons.
Yeah. So just doing some quick math here. Now these are estimates because we don't know the exact math, but
Yeah.
we have 7.5 million cards. If we take 73% of those, which is roughly the common drop rate, we come
Yeah.
out to 5.5 million.
Yeah.
Okay. So 5.5 million commons. Now there's going to be 89, 90 cards. How many of those will be commons? I don't know. I think
Well,
we
in the past they did, let's see, commons, betas. There was 4 of each.
right.
Let's say there's 5.
Okay. So now
5
so
times
so that's
5
25.
splinters.
Plus dragons maybe. I
Maybe
don't, I
there's
don't
a
know.
dragon common. Who knows?
Okay. So let's call it. Let's
26,
just call it.
27.
All right, let's do 27 just
Okay.
for giggles. So 5.5 million divided by 27 types of commons leaves 203.
Well. Then you have neutrals.
Ah, that's right. So
The
let's say 30.
32.
All right. So let's do 32. So that's 171,000 BCX per common card. And if we take the same 505 number, which may or may not be the case,
Yeah.
that's 340 maxes if everything was combined.
Okay.
So not a lot. I mean, that's 10% of the
4,000
players.
players out there.
Yeah. So and
So I mean, if they're watching, it's like it's fine, guys, if you do not 505 of them, because I'd prefer to see more players.
I don't know. I don't know that really is affects the number of players involved.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, that's basically saying it's 300 max cards is 300 more people playing at the high championship level, which is crazy. And not everyone's going to have all of the max, so that could be more than 300 players.
Right.
Now, you're not going to say all 300 have all 32 of those cards max. They're
Yep.
picking and choosing which one's the max.
Mm-hmm.
So that still could lend to be, 5, 6, 700 top players.
Yeah. But I mean, what we've seen in the previous editions is that well less than half of those potential maxes get realized. So we're talking about 150 maybe. But spread out. Not everybody has the same cards and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, we're talking. So if you're just playing Untamed and you want to compete top level champions, then you're looking at um, maybe 200, 250 new players that would have the room to buy those cards.
But we know that that there's going to be a lot of old players going out
That's
and buying
true.
them to make sure that they can still compete in there.
That is true.
Yeah.
It's a race.
So you got the 100 champ type players right now.
Yeah.
Maybe at the end of the season, there's 150 or so champion league type players. They're all going to want to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So
Well, go ahead.
I think that in our future episodes, I haven't told you, but I think what I'd like to see is let's do an episode where we bring in a couple of top players and we do an episode all about strategy
Yeah.
topics.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
you heard it here first, folks.
you heard it here first. He's agreed to it.
Yeah.
Anything else interesting on the market? I've got to run off to an event, and it's late already, but I'm going to head off.
No, I think that about covers it. Kickstarter, beta sold out, prices are going crazy.
It's been like 20 minutes. Let's see where it's been at now. Let's see.
Did you see? 45.
Well, the 45 is because of me. Let's refresh it and just double check. Yeah.
Okay. So did you see Agrod's sarcastic post about he's so sorry about making prices go up and things?
Yeah. Well, I didn't quite get it or read it all. Oh, there's one more available. Someone backed out, I guess, or something.
Huh, that's strange.
Or
there's only 5 splinters.
Maybe mine didn't go through. What's going on? Anyways, I thought that was the last one, but someone probably just changed their mind. So, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
All right. So yeah, I think we're at a good place to call it.
It's not even showing it because mine is at the top now because that's the one I did. So it's now at the top. Reward no longer available. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
So even though we're recording this, while we're recording, those sold out. So disregard everything we said about the $5,000 pledge.
Well, it can become available. I'm not look. I'm not even officially completely. I got to make sure that I've got the 5,000.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that happens. I got to talk. I got to talk to my business partner because this has got to benefit Peak Monsters as well because they've got money to help with. So we got to find a way for that to benefit Peak Monsters. So,
all right.
And he's got to be on board with it. Otherwise, it's got to be all on me. And if it's all on me, then something else.
Okay, that's fair.
So it could become available, folks.
All right. So if and when you do that, if you do make a change, you can announce it in the Discord, and I'm sure it'll get snapped up, immediately afterwards.
Well, I'll charge for the rights to buy it. People will get mad at me if I do that. But
I did in the first Kickstarter. I did buy somebody else's place on a package that had been sold out.
Nice.
And I paid like, I don't know, $20 extra or something like that.
Okay.
So it can be done.
Yeah.
All right.
Auction starts now, folks. Tell me what you want. I've got enough of these dang cards. How many more do I need?
All of them.
Got to catch them all?
Got to catch them all. Something like that. Something that won't get us sued, but yes.
I guess that was an official thing, right? That was a song.
I actually have no idea. I've never done any of those games.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a lot. I mean, I'm sure there's more in the future. They've already got 3 updates.
Let's see.
So update 1, you guys act fast, blah, blah, blah. And he said, okay, quest 1 basically is good. We're adding $100 to the weekly prize tournament at the end of the campaign. And that will go, I assume that's for a year, perhaps, that's going to happen.
I'm not sure.
He didn't mention. Probably should mention. But, and then the second update is, so there's stretch goals, and the first tier is 40,000. It's been 3 hours. We're already there. You'll be getting 15 more cards with no extra expense. Okay, cool. So jump in now. That's awesome for those physical cards, right?
Yep.
He's like, sorry, you keep on hitting goals, and keep it up. There's still 21 hours left to get another 70 pledges, and we'll tack on $100 a week in tournament prizes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay. So, and he also said that the neutrals would be added. So,
Right. So we got the alphas, the neutrals, and the legendary summoners. So the
oh,
only thing,
legendary summoners. Okay, cool.
right? So the only thing we're missing from beta is the epic summoners.
Okay. And then it goes to reward cards and promo cards.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. There you go, folks.
There we go.
You've learned enough. That's it.
Cutting it off.
Add some questions, especially for the next edition that we do, maybe next week.
Maybe.
So add the questions here, wherever you're on the, let's say on the Peak Monsters post. In particular, we're going to talk a little bit. We're obviously going to geek out, but we're going to talk a bit about how to play. Well, not how to play, but like we'll get more in depth about strategy.
Yeah, that sounds.
I love it. You guys talk about how you love listening to the long thing on your commutes, and I know if it were me, I'd love listening to a long one talking about all this stuff. You put money into it. You probably put a lot of money into it if you're still listening. So you love geeking out about it as much as us.
That's the one universal, right?
Yeah.
People love Splinterlands.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else, Neil, before we go?
Maybe next time we can talk about the controversy of the Hearthstone thing with China.
Okay. Yeah. I've been following that. It's China stuff, man.
It's been crazy.
To be honest. That's my
yeah.
preview.
So that is, it's not directly related, but it's in the universe of Splinterlands. So
Splinterlands is going to get banned in China because I just said that. Well, this podcast is now banned in China.
And the great thing is that because you own your own cards, they can do nothing.
Yeah. Right.
So maybe we'll talk about that a little bit next time.
Okay.
All right.
Peace out. I'm going to stop sharing first. I'm going to wave goodbye. And then I'm going to stop recording, folks.